What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about how Hogwarts Legacy needs to have Wizard's Chess. So, we've talked about this in the past. We talked about this, I don't know, maybe closer, like earlier in the summer. I think I talked about it last summer as well. I'd like to bring it up. We talked about it under the kind of basis that this game was, whatever it is, Harry Potter RPG open world game, whatever we thought it was at the time. We obviously, again, at this point have seen it. We've talked about other things like this in a way, right? We've talked about Quidditch. I've talked about things like Patronuses and stuff inside the game. And so I wanted to go back into that well and say, well, what's something else maybe we would like to see in this game? And Wizard's Chess is the first thing that popped up in my mind. So a few things I do want to say. If you guys do like this stuff, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on. If you guys want to follow our Twitch channel, we just recently restarted. I already actually had it, but I kind of restarted it. If you guys want to follow that, link for it is in the description below. I'm going to be streaming there around once a week. I actually have a friend that's going to stream there during the weekdays, so we're actually going to be supporting that Twitch channel quite often. Obviously, we're going to still live stream on YouTube as well. Final thing is, if you guys have other suggestions like this, things that you want to see, don't want to see in the game, let me know in the comments below. I can try and make a video on it in the future, okay? So we talked about this before when it comes to multiplayer. I think I've talked about multiplayer elements, and again, this was back when it was like whatever it was, and we didn't know, I think we always kind of assumed it was going to be a like a single player game, and it still is, and that's the biggest thing that hurts this game, I would say, in turn, and not like this is like a thing that's going to like drop scores or it's going to be like a disaster, but it seems like, especially in the FAQs, they make it very clear this is a single player game. There's not going to be any other people in there. With that being said, we've seen, in a recent example I do want to bring up is Assassin's Creed. So I haven't played Assassin's Creed Valhalla. My wife has. She's played like 50+ hours of it. I've watched a considerable amount of that 50+ hours. They have whatever that dice game is in that. Now, I don't know. I've only seen her do it. I never read the opening tutorial to it, so I have no idea what's happening in that game. But it's pretty much like Assassin's Creed's Gwent. And that's the biggest thing when I talk about Hogwarts Legacy with Wizard's Chess. That's the #1 thing I would think of, is that like these games inside games have thrived and they've worked, and there's 0% chance, by the way, that Assassin's Creed okay, they thought up that idea on their own, but there's no way they didn't steal that from Witcher, okay? Because Gwent, okay, notoriously, I guess if you guys don't know, Gwent was that card game built inside The Witcher 3, and it became so popular because it was so, it had so much depth to it, it was so big, it literally became its own game. They made its own spin-off game that's just completely about Gwent, but people literally played The Witcher 3, some people, now I didn't, but people played it just to play Gwent. And honestly, Assassin's Creed, you're hearing similar things. In fact, I think there's even rumors that they're thinking about making that dice game into its own game in 2021. So we're seeing a trend that these kind of games inside games that are that like have depth to them can actually work. Now, Wizard's Chess is just chess. That's, I guess, to kind of poke a hole in my bubble there of saying, like, well, maybe it could even be its own game, like, in the future. You know what I mean? Like, it is just chess. So if you made it its own game, you're making chess, but you're making it Wizard's Chess. So I do think it's possible. I'm not saying, like, it would never happen. But I do think, honestly, it adds a little bit more to the possibility of this happening. Look, Hogwarts Legacy is going to be, hopefully, a big game. And we've talked about some of the things that we could do in this game, right? Go to classes, potions and spells and exploration, explore Hogwarts and explore Hogsmeade and explore the Forbidden Forest and all that. The trailer hints at Quidditch, and we've talked about, I made a video even back late September, early October. We talked specifically about Quidditch. To be honest with you guys, if Quidditch, with just playing as you, and there's no, it's all AI besides you, if that's in this game, that's maybe a game that I see as more of a spin-off possibility for a game than Wizard's Chess. More in line with Gwent and more in line with Assassin's Creed's game, okay? That's what I think. But, I mean, when you think about it, and I'm not saying like there's going to be nothing to do, but think about any open world game, and you do have to have like things that are happening. Now, like random events that happen around the world, the side quests, stuff like that, people to talk to. Now, a game like this has the benefit of, again, classes and learning things. Now, we talked about, like, is it going to be a persona level kind of exam kind of thing, right, when you go into your class and all that stuff? I don't think so. Okay, I think that would be a pretty, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I think actually that would be kind of cool, but I just don't think it would go that much in depth, okay? So I think it'll be somewhere in the middle where you can go to classes, or maybe missions will require you, or, whatever ends up happening. I think there'll be something there. But, if you guys are saying, like, well, what exactly you're talking about? Well, basically, I'm trying to say, like, I'm trying to figure out what the intermediate things we're going to be doing in Hogwarts Legacy is, because you have the main campaign. You're going to have, like, leveling, I assume, right? You're going to have, like, you learning spells. But, like, what, in a minute-to-minute thing, what can you do in this game? If the story takes 12, 15, 20 hours to beat, but then the game itself is like a 50, 60-hour game, if you do everything, if you do all the side stuff, well, what is that? Okay, what is there? And that's why I say, look at Witcher. Look at Ghost of Tsushima. What are some of these games? What are things that they let you do in it? Well, Ghost of Tsushima, a lot of it is taking back settlements, a lot. And then after that, it's really exploration. You find fox dens, you find shrines, you find temples. It's all that stuff. It's all basically getting to locations. It actually works. I think it's actually a lot of fun, but that's really it. So for Hogwarts, I mean, we want exploration. I think that's fair to say. I want exploration. I want to see, everything there is to see about Hogwarts. But there should be things that kind of break me from the main stuff, break me away from the main stuff, and breaks me away from even exploration, like things to do. And I think Wizard's Chest is a perfect thing. If you have Wizard's Chest, and we've talked, actually, I've said this, and I said this a year and a half ago. So if this ends up happening, I am psychic, and I expect some sort of like applause, or like maybe a shrine, under my name, something like that. That's what I would want if you guys would do that for me. I don't expect it, but it would be nice. I said a year and a half ago, we talked about some of the multiplayer things that this game could have, and I said Wizard's Chest, I said Quidditch, and I said dueling. Those were the three options that I gave. Those were my three ideas. And I'm not saying like they're exclusive to me. Other people have thought of them as well, but I, said that, okay? And again, I don't even think you need multiplayer to have any of those things, because remember when we looked back at the leaked gameplay, and people obviously have known this for 2 years since they saw the leaked gameplay. I mean, you're battling what seems to be a student in like the courtyard in Hogwarts. So either you're mad at them and you're like attacking them, and things could get really rocky there, right? Or you're dueling. Now, normally dueling, like, you should probably have, like, a set area for, and it would probably look different than that area. But if there's dueling with the AI to practice, and I don't know how, fully thought out dueling or, like, spell work will even be, and we can talk about that in future videos. Actually, that's a good idea, I think, to do. Is it something that could even have dueling, right? Is that something that could be so, in depth that you could actually duel an AI? And can there be difficulties to that? Whatever. I think there could. I mean, I don't know honestly why there wouldn't be, because you could be dueling students that are like higher skilled than you, different spells than you, or maybe they're just more advanced or whatever. I think that would be really fun. Quidditch, I mean, that would be tough, and we talked about how tough Quidditch is, right? Because mainly because of the sheer amount of people. I think people, I keep forgetting, there's 6 or 7 people on a team, right? So that's a lot. That's 12 to 14 people in all. That's quite a bit. You could say, well, NFL can do more, FIFA can do more, NHL actually has 12 people, okay? So there is possibilities to do it. I just think you got to think about what the game is in general. I think everybody's kind of on the same page, knowing that Quidditch is pretty tough, and I think that it kind of stops it from being a fully multiplayer game where you can just go online and have everybody fill in a spot. If there is Quidditch in this game, it's going to just be you. If there is dueling in this game, it's just going to be you. If there's Wizard's Chest in this game, it's just going to be you. But again, when you play Gwent in The Witcher 3, you're just facing the AI. When you play Liar's Dice in Red Dead Redemption, let's go back to Red Dead, Red Dead 2010, that you play it against yourself, okay? All of those games you're playing against the AI. You're playing against the game, okay? So Wizard's Chess, I think, is the same thing. You're pretty much just playing chess against a smart computer. You know what I mean? I think that's possible. And again, I mean, Wizard's Chess is so cool. I know I didn't really spend that much time talking about the possibilities there, but I mean, Wizard's Chess is awesome. It's one of the highlighted moments of, the first movie, first book, just in general, right? And it's a big thing in the wizarding world. So I really think they should do it. I don't think it would be all that hard. It's literally just chess, but you're just changing the pieces and you make them a little bit more interactive. I don't see how you wouldn't have it be part of it, okay? So I'm fully in. If you guys want to start a petition for having Wizard's Chess in this game, I will spread it and I will sign it, okay? Let me know in the comments below, as always, guys. What do you think? Do you think there should be Wizards chess? What do you think about the other multiplayer or playing against an AI kind of suggestions I came up with? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on. Again, if you guys want to follow us on Twitch, the link is in the description below. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos, we are going to take a couple days off, maybe a longer break than normal, just because we got the Game Awards tonight. Cyberpunk comes out today. You guys know I'm a variety channel. I talk about like 1,000. Maybe people are annoyed by that, but I do talk about pretty much anything that happens in that kind of regard. So we're going to be doing other stuff over the next couple days, and then I'll circle back to Hogwarts early next week, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you all on the next video.